Hello everyone, I'm Want to Mess, and welcome to a new Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we're going to be going through my most recent Platinum push, sort of the last 15 minutes or so. You can see I'm on 14 minutes left right now, trying to pick out some teams. So let's get right into it. So I'm trying to just select who to attack right here. Defense has got a lot harder this week, so I select a team that I'm confident I'm faster than, and they pose no real threat if I'm faster than them. So it's looking to be a pretty quick farm for me if I strip with Thalia to make sure that my turn meter doesn't get cut. And 5 seconds. Very nice. Now, I'm taking a look at... There's been a very large increase in Lydia this week. However, this team is not bringing any kind of a real damage threat, so I am more than happy to attack this team and see what happens. So I made a small mistake there because Valkyrie has block debuffs on, so I could have slept somebody else instead of her. It wouldn't have ended up making a massive difference, but yeah. Kind of just waiting to finish it off here. 22 seconds, not too bad at all. Okay, and... Alright, and here we go. 69 Boomer. Running a very interesting team here. Not really running a damage threat here. Looks like he has a very high resistance Duchess and then a Swift Parry Sifi. However, there's no proper threat on this team, so I'm able to just sort of attack it with impunity, and there we go. 16 seconds, nice and fast. Okay, looks like we're looking at another team here, and then a lot of increase in Valkyrie this week. Pretty interesting to see. This person's actually running a damage Valkyrie, seeing how they pretty much nuked my Madame Ceres. Hopefully, yep, we cut in, we strip all of their buffs off. Okay, so they proc, once again, Swift Parry very heavy in the meta right now. However, since we used Trunda's A2 instead of her A3 to do the initial damage, we speed back around, she gets another turn, and we kill most of them. Wow. So, Candrafon's in Swift Parry, Valkyrie's in Swift Parry. Looks like at least 3 people in Swift Parry this week. 40 seconds due to Swift Parry procs. That's a little annoying, but that's okay. And 473,000 power here. Very high power team. Let's see if we're able to strip them properly. And once again, I accidentally click auto too quickly, and I mess up and I use my Sifi's A1 on Valkyrie. However, looks like they did not have enough resistance, and we fully stripped them and killed them very quickly. So, back to Boomer here. He's going to be another quick farm today. Okay, we actually managed to strip the shields off of his Duchess this time. It's a little bit surprising. I'm pretty sure he runs very high resistance, so... Anyways, 14 seconds, nice and quick. We're looking pretty good so far. And Boomer, wow, once again. And you saw me skip Sloppy there. I specifically know that he runs a 4 Swift Parry team, and it ends up just really not being worth my time, so... Okay, and wow, we actually partially stripped the Duchess, or excuse me, we partially landed debuffs on the Duchess again. Another 14-second fight exactly. happened with the Swift Parry procs, and so I actually target somebody different this time. And once again, they would have all died, but literally the other 3 champions all procced Swift Parry. And unfortunately, I still did not notice this. I did not notice what was happening. We're still kind of grinding through them. Trunda's doing a ton of damage, but if I had targeted properly, or if the Swift Parries had not procced, this would have been a significantly faster fight. Looks like we're going to end up in the... right around 30... okay, 37. That's not bad. Again, not quite as fast as last week on offense. We're down to 6 minutes or so left. Let's see who else we've got here to hit. Same person again, Crit Morris. See, now this is where I actually get baited a little bit. We're going to see me targeting the Sifi, because I wasn't really sure what was going on with Vogoth, but there, none of the Swift Parries procced, and so I got sort of baited into thinking that, hey, maybe something different or something else happened or changed with Vogoth. And in a later on fight, actually my last fight of the night, I end up messing up pretty bad against the Vogoth team, so... just trying to find somebody to hit here. Once again, I did not have an immunity team quite prepared this week, so I had to really dodge sort of Hegemon teams. And I didn't really use my Sifi double Rotos team at all. There was a massive increase in Warlord this week, and Warlord on defense usually means that it's usually a crowd control Hegemon, so Sifi double Rotos is a very bad way to attack that team. All right, 18 seconds, nice and fast there. Five minutes left. Again, seeing so much Hegemon and so much Warlord combined together, and we've actually seen a little bit of Gergo coming out, which kind of a niche champion. We haven't really seen him too much. I know what he does, but I wasn't sure how people would have him built, so I was dodging the teams for now. There we go, using the Trunda A2 again on a high health target. 7-second fight, very nice. And you're seeing me there dodge a team that doesn't have Warlord or Hegemon or anything like that. That's a triple revive team with Godseeker and Yuri. She's a new champion. People are running triple revive all in Swift Parry, and that team was fast enough that I wasn't able to use my my Gerp Tuck. So I was just sort of dodging those teams for now. So after my video last week, I've noticed people were running a lot of teams that... I'm not trying to say everybody tried to counter what I did, because that's, not really true, but there was a lot of teams that handled sort of a Sifi speed team a lot better this week, and that's good to see. It's good to see that people are, learning, updating, and changing their defenses to do better. Boomer here was actually... he had a different defense on earlier, and it was a significantly faster farm for me. I am a bit surprised that his Seeker team ended up being this slow for me. I think maybe I should have just started off with the A3. Not too sure. But yeah, I made the mistake of leaving it on auto there for my Trunda, and she finished off Seeker instead of going for the Sifi. I wouldn't say that I was doing like poorly on offense, but definitely a little bit off my norm in terms of offensive capabilities, so... Alright, attacking another Tau member here. So once again, proccing Swift Parry, however, we're not in too much danger here. There's no Lydia or anything like that. Should end up being around 30 seconds or so. Oh, 23, much quicker than I thought. Okay. So down to the last 2 minutes or so. I'm just trying to attack anybody that I feel comfortable attacking at this point. I just want to get fights in that I think I can win. Okay, so now here, since this team has Lydia, I specifically take myself off of auto and I make sure that I just use my Sifi's A1 instead of letting her revive somebody. And now here we're going to see, I believe I get, so you saw on the timer about 2 minutes left, and I actually get stuck in this fight for the remainder of reset. I'm sorry to spoil that, but here you see me, I target the Sifi with my A2, so I should have been targeting Vogoth, and then on top of that, she procs Swift Parry, so not only she didn't die, but she was also healed quite a lot. And then the Duchess lived, and now my Trunda has gone through both of her cooldowns. They have a Mountain King constantly killing her, and Duchess is full health and about to revive everybody. So I probably should have backed out right here. This was a bad call by me. I stayed in here for the whole time. Yeah, not too much else to say here other than I should have backed out. And unfortunately, another Swift Parry proc. Mountain King kills my Trunda. We're seeing here why there's so much Mountain King in the meta recently, at least for defense. And it seems to be this person's running a decently fast Mountain King. There's kind of two different ways you can go with a Mountain King build, in my opinion. You can either go super crazy, ridiculously slow, like literally +0 speed Mountain King, because then there's a lot of champions that have AoE abilities. So if you happen to sleep him like I do with a Sifi, the rest of my team might end up waking him up. Otherwise, you can go a faster build. Some kind of proper damage set can work really well. He does very well in Savage. He does well in possibly Relentless. That can be really annoying if it procs. Or, of course, if you can just build him in Shield Set. Shield Set is probably his primary use. Especially for this team, I would assume that him or Vogoth were in the Shield Set, but I'm not totally sure. And now we're seeing the very annoying Sifi A1 actually sleeping my team instead, or specifically my Trunda. And we're just trying to slowly grind it out. And by now, you see 2 minutes on the fight clock. We have already passed Arena Reset. It just wasn't worth it for me to back. Once I was too deep in, it wasn't worth it for me to back out anyways. So, all right. So that is the end of my reset this week. Let's see where I finished. I believe it was 24th. Yeah. So from first the previous week to 24th this week, a pretty significant drop. Getting stuck in that fight in the last 2 minutes or so was really bad. That could have been. That could have been 2 or 3 wins rather than not winning at all. And you'll see my defense here: Duchess, Krisk, Kandrafon, Hegemon. It is the same champions that I ran last week, but I did the build a little bit differently. So now we're looking at my actual defense log, and I'll tell you right now, so you don't have to count, I got hit a total of 60 times in the last 20 minutes. Placing first last week put a pretty big target on my back, and while my win rate was okay, I won 21 out of the 60, overall I lost a lot of points. So it was definitely the combination of getting a ton on defense, plus my offense was a little bit slow this week, and that led to me placing only 24th. So once I finish going through this log, we will go and take a look at the champions that I used for my offense and my defense. People were asking for to show the actual masteries on them and the builds a little bit more in-depth, so we will spend a little bit more time doing that. But I'd like to keep the video a little bit faster, so we're not going to go super in-depth. So let's go look at them. Okay. Let's go take a look at the champions that I ran on offense and defense and do a little bit more closer look into their gear and their masteries. So the offense that I used pretty much the entire time, or at least literally every fight that I saw in the last 15 minutes, it was my standard Sifi, Arbiter, Madam, Trunda. So once again, my Sifi gear is the same. 370. Oh, I'm sorry. I did drop her speed by 1 to give her a resistance banner instead of an attack banner. Here are the masteries that I'm running on her. Pretty standard support tree into Lore of Steel is very important for her due to the speed sets that I run on her. And then I personally like having Spirit Haste and Timely Intervention since she is a reviver. And a quick shout out to the Harvest Despair mastery. This mastery is very, very good on her since she has a 100% chance to sleep enemies with no accuracy required. Here is my Arbiter build. I think these sets are the exact same as last time. Pretty tanky, 353, 450 resistance. Here are the masteries that I run on her. A little bit different. Accuracy does matter a bit for Arbiter, and I do like the Evil Eye mastery on her. Personally, the Lasting Gifts is kind of something that I just have a personal preference for. She only does the one buff, so it's not super high value. You could possibly take Retribution instead, or Sniper for her A1 for the weekend. For Madame Saris, her gear has not changed at all. So the same stats this week, 243 speed, 220 resistance, 780 accuracy. Here are the masteries that I run on her. I think that these are definitely the best masteries for Madame Saris. Standard support tree down on the accuracy side, eventually into Eagle Eye. Defense tree, again, this champion does fears with her A1 and A2. So placing the leech can be very, very good. And then last but not least is my Trunda. I actually did change her build a little bit this week. I dropped her attack, so once again, this is my attack in Gold 4. In Platinum, it's a little bit higher than this. 230 speed, 288 crit damage. I upped her crit damage and dropped her attack a little bit because I was a little bit too heavily focused into attack, and I got a really good weapon, quad crit damage, attack percentage, and speed, so really super happy about this. Was able to sort of even out her stats a bit. And then here are the masteries that I run on my Trunda. I take a pretty standard offense tree here. I've been considering switching to Opportunist since I run her with Sifi so much. However, I still like Cycle of Violence. Stoked to Furies because I do occasionally run Gurptuk in here. And then pretty standard defense tree. I don't like the resistance here, so even though improved parry is better than rejuvenation or blast proof, I'm not able to take it. So a quick note: Resurgent is a ridiculously strong mastery, possibly one of the strongest masteries in the entire game right now in terms of arena. If you are able to take it on a champion, you pretty much always should, in my opinion. And then down into the one counterattack Retribution here. Now, for my defense, so I told you I ran the same champions but did something a little bit different this week. So I ran Duchess Leader instead this time. So what I did was I changed her build. She's still in Swift Parry and Immortal. However, I made her much faster. I dropped her HP a little bit. She's at 100,000 in Platinum. However, I bumped her up to 288 speed. So this is quite a bit faster than most people would expect a Duchess to be. And here are the masteries that I run on her. I have been considering taking Lasting Gifts over Retribution. I'm still kind of debating and deciding on it. We'll see if I switch them or not, but these are the masteries that I've been running for a while. And then I ran Krisk as per usual. He has the exact same build as before. Here are the masteries that I used on him. Pretty standard defense tree going down into Selfless Defender and Bulwark. This is really important for offense and defense to help protect your more squishy champions. And then support tree down into Lasting Gifts. He does quite a few buffs along with the Shield Bearer mastery, etc. And then my damage threat was Kandrafon, and I did the same thing that I did with my Duchess. I sped him up a ton. So you're going to see these damage numbers are a little bit on the weak end. That's because I had to sacrifice so much to push up speed. So what I wanted to do was have my very fast Duchess and my very fast Kandrafon. Duchess goes first, and then Kandrafon can immediately blow people up before like a slower enemy offense team has the chance to take a turn. Here are the masteries that I'm running on him. They are very similar to Trunda, except for I take both counterattacks instead of Stoked to Fury, because I don't really run Kandrafon on offense too much. And then last but not least is Hegemon. I believe he is in the exact same build as last week. In Platinum, over 7,000 attack, 298 crit damage. And here are the masteries that I take on him. I intentionally run low crit rate, so that's why I'm trying to lower it more. That's why I take the attack mastery instead of the crit rate mastery. And then the offense tree is all about blowing people up, and then I actually take the support tree. If you can get some accuracy on your Hegemon, it can be very nice. And then the Lore of Steel is actually, I run one set of Cruel, and squeezing out every last bit of attack that you can from that build is really important. So those are all the champions that I ran this week, their builds and their masteries. I hope that this was informative. Please like the video, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. I'd really, really appreciate it. And I will see you again soon on a new video. Thank you. Peace.